Hey, you. Yeah, you sitting there, maybe scrolling through your phone, wondering how to pick up the pieces after someone you trusted turned their back on you. Let's talk about betrayal. It stings, doesn't it? It's like a punch you didn't see coming from someone you thought had your back. They walked away, maybe even smirked as they did, thinking they broke you. But here's the truth they didn't expect. Their betrayal didn't destroy you, it set you free. Today, we're diving into how betrayal, as painful as it is, can be the spark that transforms you into someone stronger, wiser, and untouchable. This isn't about getting even, it's about getting better. Welcome to a journey of stoic wisdom, emotional intelligence, and quiet power. Grab a coffee, settle in, and let's unpack how to turn pain into purpose. Let's start with the moment it hits. Someone you loved, trusted, or poured your heart into betrays you. Maybe it was a friend who ghosted you when you started shining brighter. Maybe it was a partner who lied, cheated, or made you feel small. Or maybe it was a colleague who threw you under the bus to save themselves. Whatever it was, it left you questioning everything: your worth, your judgment, even your ability to trust again. You're sitting there, replaying it, asking, how did I miss the signs? Was I too naive? But let me stop you right there. You weren't naive. You were real. You gave your heart, your loyalty, your time, and they fumbled it. That's not your failure, it's theirs. Here's where stoic wisdom comes in, and trust me, it's like a lifeline. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In other words, their betrayal doesn't get to define you. It's how you respond that shapes who you become. You've got two choices: let their actions shatter you or let them sharpen you. And I know you're stronger than they think because you're still here, listening, ready to rebuild. Picture this: after the betrayal, you didn't scream or chase them. You didn't post a rant online or beg for answers. Instead, you went quiet, not out of weakness, but out of clarity. You disappeared not to hide, but to rebuild. You started small, maybe you picked up a new hobby, hit the gym, or just sat with your thoughts, letting the pain burn until it turned into fuel. That's what betrayal does when you handle it right. It's not just a wound, it's a wake-up call. It forces you to see who's really in your corner and who's just taking up space. Their betrayal cut the cord that was holding you back, even if you didn't realize it at the time. Let me share a story. I once knew someone, let's call her Mia. Mia poured everything into a friendship. She was there through late-night calls, heartbreak, and job losses. But when Mia started leveling up, new job, new confidence, new boundaries, her friend flipped. Suddenly, Mia was too much, too different. The friend spread rumors, turned mutual friends against her, and ghosted her without a word. Mia was crushed, but instead of fighting back, she went silent. She focused on herself, got healthier, started therapy, built a business. 2 years later, that same friend reached out, acting like nothing happened. But Mia, she wasn't the same person anymore. She'd grown into someone who didn't need that friend's validation. That's the kind of transformation betrayal can spark when you choose growth over grudges. Here's the thing about betrayers: they think they've won when they walk away. They think their lies, their manipulation, their exit gives them power. But what they don't realize is that the moment they lose you, they lose their shield. You were their mirror, reflecting their best selves back to them. When you're gone, they're left staring at their own flaws, and trust me, that's a harder view than they expected. Stoics call this natural consequence, not some mystical karma, but the simple truth that every action has a ripple effect. Seneca, another Stoic, said, "Every guilty person is his own hangman." When they betray someone good, they are planting seeds for their own unraveling. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but life keeps score. Let's get real for a second. Have you ever noticed how people who hurt you seem to spiral later? Maybe their relationships fall apart, or they can't hold down a job, or their charm starts to wear thin. It's not because you cursed them, it's because they built their world on shaky ground. Lies, manipulation, ego, they're like termites eating away at their foundation. Meanwhile, you're out here rebuilding brick by brick into someone they can't touch. That's the real power. Not shouting, not exposing them, but rising so high their chaos can't reach you. Now, let's talk about silence, because this is where the game changes. Silence isn't just not responding. It's a boundary, a declaration that your peace is worth more than their drama. Toxic people, narcissists, manipulators, they thrive on your reactions. They want you to argue, to explain, to beg for their approval. But when you go quiet, you pull the plug on their power. They can't manipulate what they can't hear. They can't control a mind that's moved on. I've seen it happen. Someone gets a text from an ex, full of accusations or fake apologies, and instead of typing a comeback, they just delete it. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's you saying, my energy is too valuable for your games. Think about it. When was the last time you held back from responding to someone who hurt you? How did it feel? Maybe at first it was hard, your fingers itched to fire back. But then something shifted. You felt lighter. You realized their words don't get to rent space in your head anymore. Epictetus, another Stoic, put it perfectly. It's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance. When you choose silence, you're choosing to strip their actions of power. You're saying, I'm done playing your game. Here's the beautiful twist. Their betrayal didn't just free you from them. It freed you from the version of yourself that was too small for your potential. Without their weight, you started to soar. Maybe you rediscovered your passion, set stronger boundaries, or finally believed you were enough. You didn't need their apology to heal. You needed your own decision to stop bleeding for someone who didn't care. That's emotional intelligence. That's Stoic self-mastery. You became the person they swore you could never be, unshakable, grounded, and at peace. Let's go back to Mia for a moment. After her friend's betrayal, she didn't just survive, she thrived. She launched a small business that's now touching lives in her community. She surrounded herself with people who lift her up, not tear her down. And when that old friend tried to waltz back into her life, Mia didn't hate her. She didn't need to. She just smiled, said nothing, and kept building her empire. That's what happens when you let betrayal be your teacher, not your tormentor. So, here's my challenge to you today. If you've been betrayed, if someone's made you question your worth, don't chase revenge. Don't beg for closure. Instead, ask yourself, what's one step I can take today to rebuild my peace? Maybe it's setting a boundary, like ignoring that text. Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off. Or maybe it's just looking in the mirror and saying, I'm enough. Because you are. Their betrayal wasn't the end of your story, it was the beginning of your comeback. In the Stoic view, your peace is your proof. Your silence is your strength. Your growth is your victory. They thought they broke you, but they only broke their own access to your light. So keep shining, keep rising, and let life handle the rest. If this spoke to you, drop a comment below, share your story. What's the strongest move you've made to protect your peace? Your wisdom might just be the spark someone else needs today. And if you're ready to turn pain into power, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more Stoic insights to help you live your best life. Until next time, stay strong, stay silent, and keep building. Hey there, friend. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal? That gut punch moment when someone you trusted, someone you let into your heart, turns their back on you. It's raw, it's heavy, and it can make you question everything. But here's the thing. What if I told you that betrayal, as painful as it is, could be the spark that lights a fire inside you? Not a fire of anger, but one of strength, growth, and unshakable resilience. Today, we're diving into the nature of betrayal, how it hurts, how it rewires you, and how, with a little Stoic wisdom, it can become the key to unlocking a stronger version of yourself. So grab a seat, maybe a warm drink, and let's unpack this together. This is about turning pain into power. Let's get started. Betrayal hits differently, doesn't it? It's not just the act, what they did, but who did it. It's the friend who promised to always have your back, only to disappear when you needed them most. It's the partner who swore loyalty, then broke your trust like it was nothing. It's the colleague who smiled to your face while plotting behind your back. These aren't strangers. They are the ones you let in, the ones you gave your time, your heart, your trust. And when they betray you, it's like they've taken a sledgehammer to your world. You're left sitting in the wreckage, wondering, how did I not see this coming? Was I too trusting? Did I do something to deserve this? Let me stop you right there. You didn't miss the signs because you were naive. You trusted because you're genuine. You gave because you're good. Their betrayal isn't a mark against your character, it's a reflection of theirs. They thought they'd walk away as the winner, that their exit would leave you broken, begging for answers. But what they didn't see was the quiet strength they accidentally set free inside you. That moment when they turned their back, that was the moment a new kind of power started building, one they'll never understand. Let's talk about what betrayal really does. It doesn't just hurt, it rewires you. It's like a shock to your system, forcing you to rethink love, loyalty, even your own worth. You might spend nights staring at the ceiling, asking, why me? What did I do wrong? But here's where Stoic wisdom flips the script. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In plain English, the betrayal doesn't define you, how you handle it does. You can let it shatter you, or you can let it shape you into someone wiser, stronger, and sharper. Think about it like this. Betrayal is a teacher, even if it's a brutal one. It shows you who's real and who's not. It forces you to face the hard truth that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And yeah, it's painful, nobody's saying it's not. But that pain, it's necessary. It's like a forest fire clearing out dead wood to make room for new growth. Their betrayal didn't just cut you. It cut the ties that were holding you back, whether you realized it or not. It's what I call a divine filter, stripping away the people who were draining you so you can rebuild something better. Let me share a story to bring this home. I once knew a guy named Alex. Alex poured everything into his relationship. He was there for his partner through job losses, family drama, you name it. He gave his time, his energy, his heart. But one day she walked away, no explanation, just a cold goodbye. Worse, he found out she'd been talking behind his back, painting him as the bad guy to their mutual friends. Alex was crushed. He spent weeks questioning himself, wondering if he'd been too much or not enough. Sound familiar? But then something shifted. Instead of chasing her or fighting to clear his name, Alex leaned into the pain. He started journaling, hitting the gym, reconnecting with old passions. Slowly, he realized her betrayal wasn't about him. It was about her inability to handle his light. Today, Alex is thriving, running his own small business and surrounded by people who value him. That betrayal, it didn't break him, it built him. Here's the truth about betrayal. It's not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter. Those people who hurt you, they thought you'd crumble, that you'd stay stuck in their chaos, but you didn't. You took the pain and turned it into purpose. You didn't scream or beg, you went quiet, and in that silence you found strength. That's the Stoic way. It's not about lashing out or getting even. It's about taking control of what you can, your mind, your choices, your growth, and letting the rest fall away. The betrayers, they're left with the consequences of their own actions while you're out here building a life they can't touch. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever been betrayed? Maybe by a friend, a partner, or even family. What did it teach you? Did it make you question yourself? Or did it push you to become someone stronger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story because trust me, you're not alone. Betrayal is universal, but so is resilience. And the good news, you get to decide what comes next. You can let their actions define you, or you can let them refine you. Here's my take, and maybe it's a bit different from what you've heard before. Betrayal isn't just a loss, it's a gift in disguise. It's life's way of saying, you're ready for more, but first we need to clear out what's holding you back. Think about it. Without that betrayal, you might still be pouring energy into someone who doesn't deserve it. You might still be shrinking to fit their small world. Their betrayal was the push you needed to step into your own power. It's like the universe handed you a chisel and said, now carve out the life you were always meant to live. So, what's the first step? It's simple but not easy. Feel the pain, but don't live in it. Let it wash over you like a wave, then let it pass. Start small, write down one thing you're grateful for, take a walk, or just breathe and remind yourself, I'm still here. That's where the transformation begins. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their approval to grow. You just need you, your courage, your heart, your decision to rise. So here's my challenge to you today. If betrayal has knocked you down, don't stay there. Use it. Let it be the fire that forges a stronger you. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to take back my power? Maybe it's setting a boundary, picking up a new skill, or just choosing to believe you're enough. Because you are. Their betrayal was just a chapter, not the whole story. And the best part, you're the one writing the ending. In the Stoic view, pain is a teacher, and you're the student who gets to decide what to learn. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep rising. If this resonated with you, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs a reminder of their strength, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to help you navigate life's toughest moments. In the comments, tell me, what's one lesson betrayal taught you? Your story might just inspire someone else to turn their pain into power. Until next time, stay strong, stay true, and keep building. Hey, you. Ever wonder why betrayal cuts so deep? It's not just the act of someone turning their back on you, it's the why behind it. Why would someone you trusted, someone you poured your heart into, choose to hurt you? Today, we're diving into the psychology of betrayal, peeling back the layers to understand what drives people to betray and why it's not about your flaws but theirs. This isn't about pointing fingers or dwelling on the pain. It's about seeing betrayal for what it is, a mirror reflecting their fears, not your failures. With a little Stoic wisdom and emotional intelligence, we'll uncover how to turn that hurt into strength and protect your peace. So grab a comfy spot, maybe a notebook, and let's get into it. This is about understanding, growing, and rising above. Let's start with a hard truth. Betrayal doesn't always come from hate. More often, it comes from fear. Not your fear, theirs. When someone betrays you, it's rarely because you weren't enough or because you did something wrong. It's because your growth, your standards, or your stability made them uncomfortable. Think about it. You start setting boundaries, chasing your dreams, or simply becoming a better version of yourself, and suddenly, someone close to you starts acting distant, cold, or even hostile. Why? Because your light is shining a little too bright, and it's exposing the parts of themselves they are not ready to face. Your progress becomes their mirror, and instead of stepping up, they lash out or walk away. This is where the psychology kicks in. Some people thrive on chaos, drama, manipulation, keeping things messy because it's familiar. When you start breaking free from that, when you say, "I'm done with the gossip," or "I'm focusing on me now," it throws them off. You're no longer playing their game, and that terrifies them. They betray you not because you failed them, but because you stopped being easy to control. Their disloyalty, it's a reflection of their character, not a judgment on your worth. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you've got a friend you've known forever. You've been through everything together, late night talks, shared struggles, big dreams. But then you start changing. Maybe you land a better job, start eating healthier, or just stop tolerating the same old toxic patterns. You're not trying to outshine anyone, you're just growing. And suddenly that friend starts pulling away. They make snarky comments about how you've changed or stop inviting you to hang out. Maybe they even spread rumors to make you look like the bad guy. Sound familiar? That's not about you being too much. It's about them being afraid of being left behind. Your growth makes them feel small, not because you're better than them, but because they are not ready to grow with you. Here's a real story to bring it home. I knew a woman named Rachel. She and her best friend were inseparable, always supporting each other through life's ups and downs. But when Rachel started therapy and began setting boundaries, like saying no to last-minute plans or refusing to engage in petty drama, her friend got weird. She started ghosting Rachel, then told mutual friends that Rachel was acting superior. The truth? Rachel's newfound confidence was a mirror her friend couldn't face. Her friend's betrayal wasn't about Rachel's flaws, it was about her friend's insecurity. Rachel didn't fight back or try to prove herself. She just kept growing, and that was the most powerful response of all. Let's lean into some Stoic wisdom here, because it's like a compass for navigating this kind of pain. The Stoics, like Epictetus, taught us that we can't control what others do, only how we respond. When someone betrays you, it's tempting to internalize it, to think, maybe I cared too much, or maybe I wasn't enough. But here's the stoic truth: you cared correctly. You showed up with honesty, loyalty, and heart in a world that often rewards the opposite. Their betrayal doesn't mean you failed, it means they couldn't handle the realness you brought to the table. Epictetus would say, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Their actions, that's on them. Your peace, that's on you. What's wild is how often betrayers don't even realize what they are doing. They're not always plotting like a movie villain. Sometimes they're just reacting out of fear, fear of your growth, fear of your boundaries, fear of the stability you're building. They see you leveling up and it's like a spotlight on their own insecurities. Instead of facing that discomfort, they sabotage. They distance themselves. They betray. But here's the kicker: that betrayal is their loss, not yours. You were a gift they couldn't handle, and their disloyalty is proof of their limits, not yours. Here's my take, and maybe it's a perspective you haven't considered. Betrayal is like a storm. It's chaotic, it's loud, and it feels like it's tearing everything apart. But after the storm passes, the air is clearer and you can see what really matters. That friend, partner, or colleague who betrayed you. They were holding you back from the life you're meant to live. Their exit wasn't a punishment. It was a permission slip to focus on you. To build a life aligned with your values, surrounded by people who lift you up instead of pulling you down. The psychology of betrayal shows us that their actions were about their fears, not your flaws. And when you see that, you stop carrying their baggage and start carrying your own strength. Let's get real for a second. Have you ever been betrayed by someone because you were growing? Maybe you set a boundary, chased a dream, or just started prioritizing yourself, and someone couldn't handle it. What did you learn from it? Did it make you doubt yourself, or did it push you to double down on your growth? Drop your story in the comments, because trust me, you're not alone. Betrayal is part of the human experience, but so is rising above it. And you're already taking the first step by being here, ready to turn that pain into power. So, how do you move forward? Start by letting go of the need to prove yourself to them. You don't need their validation to know your worth. You don't need their apology to heal. Instead, channel that energy into building something they can't touch, a life rooted in your values, your peace, your purpose. The Stoics would tell you to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your boundaries. Let their betrayal be a reminder to surround yourself with people who celebrate your growth, not resent it. And when those old doubts creep in, remind yourself, I didn't fail. I was real in a world that rewards fake. And that's my strength. Here's my challenge to you today. If you've been betrayed, don't let it define you. Let it refine you. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to honor my growth? Maybe it's saying no to someone who doesn't respect your boundaries. Maybe it's taking a small step toward a dream they doubted. Or maybe it's just looking in the mirror and saying, I'm enough. Because you are. Their betrayal was just a chapter, not the whole book. And you're the one writing the next page. In the Stoic view, your worth isn't tied to their actions, it's tied to your choices. So choose growth, choose peace, choose you. If this hit home, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic insights to help you navigate life's challenges. In the comments, tell me, what's one way you've turned betrayal into strength? Your story might just be the spark someone else needs to keep going. Until next time, stay true, stay strong, and keep rising. Hey there, friend. Have you ever felt the urge to fire back at someone who hurt you? To send that perfect comeback text or call them out for their betrayal? We've all been there, heart racing, fingers itching to respond. But what if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do in those moments is nothing? Not out of weakness, but out of strength. Today, we're diving into the power of silence, how it's not just holding your tongue, but setting a boundary so strong, it shakes the core of those who thrive on your reactions. With a touch of Stoic wisdom and emotional intelligence, we'll explore how silence can be your greatest weapon in reclaiming your peace and building a life that's untouchable. So, grab a cozy spot, maybe a cup of tea, and let's unpack this together. This is about turning quiet into power. Let's go. When someone betrays you, a friend, a partner, a colleague, it's like they've handed you a script. They expect you to play the part, Get angry, argue, beg for explanations, or at least show them you're hurting. They want your reaction because it gives them control, a sense that they still matter in your world. But when you choose silence instead, that's when the script flips. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a boundary, a shield, a declaration that says, "My peace is worth more than your chaos." And let me tell you, for people who crave control, like narcissists or manipulators, your silence is their worst nightmare. It strips away their influence, leaving them face to face with their own emptiness. Think about it. When you don't respond to that provocative text or that guilt-tripping voicemail, you're not just ignoring them, you're taking back your power. You're saying, "I'm not playing your game anymore." And that's terrifying to someone who feeds off your emotions. They can't manipulate what they can't hear. They can't twist words you never said. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to look at the truth they've been dodging all along. And trust me, that's a reflection they are not ready for. Let's lean into some stoic wisdom here because it's like a roadmap for navigating this. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance." In other words, your peace isn't shaken by what they say or do. It's shaken by whether you let their words take root in your mind. When you respond, you give their actions weight. When you stay silent, you take that power away. It's not about being passive or avoiding conflict. It's about being intentional. The Stoics weren't about reacting to every jab or slight. They chose their battles carefully, responding only when it aligned with their values and self-control. Silence, in their view, isn't just restraint, it's mastery. Let me share a story to make this real. I once knew a guy named James. He was in a toxic work environment, constantly undermined by a colleague who'd smile to his face, but spread rumors behind his back. One day, this colleague sent James a passive-aggressive email, clearly trying to bait him into a public argument. The old James would have fired back, defending himself, proving his point. But this time, he did something different. He read the email, took a deep breath, and deleted it. No reply, no drama, just silence. Over the next few weeks, that colleague kept pushing, sending more emails, dropping subtle jabs in meetings. But James stayed calm, focused on his work, and let his results speak for him. Eventually, the colleague's behavior backfired. People saw through the manipulation, and James's quiet strength earned him respect. That's the power of silence. It doesn't just protect you, it exposes the truth without you saying a word. Here's the thing about silence. It's not about bottling up your feelings or pretending you're not hurt. It's about choosing where to put your energy. When you stay silent, you're not ignoring the pain, you're refusing to let it define you. You're saying, "I'm worth more than this fight." And that's where the transformation happens. By denying betrayers access to your emotions, you free up space to focus on what really matters: your growth, your peace, your purpose. You stop feeding the chaos and start feeding your soul. It's like turning off the noise of a crowded room to hear your own thoughts clearly for the first time. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever chosen silence over a fight? Maybe you got a text from an ex full of accusations or fake apologies and you wanted to fire back. But instead, you put the phone down. How did it feel? Maybe at first it was tough. Your heart was pounding, your mind racing with all the things you could say. But then something shifted. You felt lighter, freer, like you just dropped a heavy weight. That's the moment you realize silence isn't weakness, it's growth, it's self-mastery. It's you saying, "My energy is too precious for your games." Here's my take, and maybe it's a perspective you haven't thought about before. Silence is like a secret weapon. It's subtle, but it's devastatingly effective. In a world that's always shouting, always demanding a reaction, choosing to stay quiet is revolutionary. It's not about suppressing your voice, it's about protecting it. Some people don't deserve access to your words anymore, not because you're punishing them, but because you're prioritizing yourself. Your silence says, "I'm not here to fix your mess or prove my worth. I'm here to live my truth." And when you live that truth, you become untouchable, not because you're cold, but because you're clear. Think about the last time someone tried to pull you into their drama. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed you, a family member who guilt-tripped you, or a coworker who tried to make you look bad. What if, instead of engaging, you just walked away? Not out of fear, but out of strength. What if you decided their chaos wasn't worth your peace? That's the Stoic way, focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. And what you can control is your response, your energy, your boundaries. Silence is the boundary that says, this is where your influence ends and my power begins. Let's wrap this up with a challenge. The next time someone tries to drag you back into their drama, whether it's a text, a call, or a subtle jab, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, will responding to this bring me peace, or will it just restart the cycle? If it's not worth your energy, let silence be your answer. Let it be your strength. Because when you choose silence, you're not just shutting down their noise, you're turning up the volume on your own growth. You're building a life where their betrayal can't reach you, where their words can't shake you. So, here's my call to you today. Embrace the power of silence. If someone's betrayed you, don't let their actions pull you into a fight you don't need to win. Instead, ask yourself, what's one way I can protect my peace today? Maybe it's ignoring that text. Maybe it's walking away from a toxic conversation. Or maybe it's just reminding yourself, I'm enough and I don't need their validation. Because you don't. Their betrayal showed you their limits, but your silence shows you your strength. In the Stoic view, saying less means more. Your peace is your power, and your silence is your statement. So keep building, keep growing, and let your quiet strength speak louder than their chaos ever could. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below. What's one time you chose silence and felt its power? Your story might just inspire someone else to find their own strength. Hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to help you rise above life's challenges. Until next time, stay calm, stay strong, and keep shining. Hey, you, ever wonder what happens to those who betray you? The ones who lied, manipulated, or walked away thinking they got the upper hand. You might be tempted to wish them harm, to hope for some dramatic downfall. But here's the truth. Life has a way of settling the score, not with fireworks or vengeance, but with quiet, inevitable consequences. Today, we're diving into the consequences of betrayal, what the Stoics call natural karma. It's not about magical justice. It's about the unraveling that happens when someone betrays a good person. With Stoic wisdom and a touch of emotional intelligence, we'll explore how life handles those who hurt you so you don't have to. Grab a cozy spot, maybe a warm drink, and let's unpack this. This is about trusting life to do the work while you focus on your peace. Let's get started. When someone betrays you, a friend who gossiped, a partner who cheated, a colleague who threw you under the bus, they walk away thinking they've won. They think their lies, their manipulation, or their cold exit leaves them free and you broken. But what they don't see is the storm they've set in motion, not for you, but for themselves. The Stoics didn't believe in some cosmic punishment or mystical karma. They believed in natural consequences, what Seneca called it when he said, every guilty person is their own hangman. That's a fancy way of saying, you can't betray someone good and walk away clean. Life keeps receipts and the bill always comes due. Think about it. When someone lies, manipulates, or betrays trust, they're not just hurting you, they're planting seeds for their own downfall. Those seeds grow into fractured relationships, unstable jobs, and a reputation that starts to rot from the inside out. It's not about you cursing them or plotting revenge. It's about their actions creating a world where trust and stability slip through their fingers like sand. They thought they could outrun their choices, but life has a way of catching up, quietly and surgically. Let's make this real with a story. Imagine a woman named Lisa who was in a relationship with a guy who seemed perfect, charming, attentive, the whole package. But behind the scenes, he was manipulative, gaslighting her, and eventually cheated. When Lisa found out, she didn't scream or post a tell-all online. She walked away, went silent, and focused on rebuilding her life. New hobbies, therapy, a tighter circle of friends. Meanwhile, her ex moved on quickly, flaunting a new relationship online, acting like he'd upgraded. But behind the scenes, his new relationship crumbled under the same patterns of manipulation. His friends started pulling away, tired of his drama. His job performance tanked because he couldn't keep up the facade. Lisa didn't need to lift a finger. His own actions built a world where no one trusted him anymore. While he was spiraling, Lisa was thriving, surrounded by peace and purpose. That's what stoic karma looks like. It's not a lightning bolt from the sky. It's the slow, steady unraveling of a life built on dishonesty. You see it in the signs. Relationships that keep failing, not because of bad luck, but because of bad character. Jobs that never stick because their charm can't hide their inconsistency forever. Reputations that start to crack as people see through the mask. They might post about fake friends or moving on, but deep down, they're haunted by the emptiness of their own choices. And the kicker, you don't have to do anything to make it happen. Life does the work for you. Here's where stoic wisdom shines, and it's like a lifeline for anyone who's been hurt. The Stoics didn't waste energy chasing revenge or obsessing over justice. They focused on what they could control, their thoughts, their actions, their peace. Seneca's words remind us that betrayers carry their own punishment. Every lie they tell, every trust they break, adds weight to their conscience. They might not admit it, but they feel it. The isolation, the instability, the quiet nagging that they've lost something real. You don't need to punish them because their own actions are already doing it. Your job, keep building a life so full of purpose that their chaos can't touch you. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever seen someone who hurt you start to unravel? Maybe it wasn't a dramatic scandal, but little cracks, friends pulling away, opportunities slipping, or just a hollowness in their eyes. Or maybe you're still waiting, wondering if life will ever balance the scales. Here's the stoic truth. It will, but not on your timeline. Chinese letter. And when it does, you don't need to be the one to deliver it. Trust that their choices will catch up with them and focus on what you can control, your growth, your peace, your future. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's a moment when you saw life handle someone who wronged you? Your story might inspire someone else to let go and trust the process. Here's my take, and maybe it's a perspective you haven't considered. Betrayal feels personal, but it's often not about you, it's about them. Their lies, their manipulation, their betrayal, that's their baggage, not yours. When you stop trying to fix their mess or prove your worth, you free yourself to build something better. The consequences they face aren't your responsibility. They are the natural result of living a life out of alignment with truth and trust. It's like planting a garden. You sow honesty, you grow connection. You sow betrayal, you grow isolation. The beauty is you don't have to tend their garden. You just keep watering your own, building a life of integrity surrounded by people who value you. Think about it like this. Every time you choose to focus on your growth instead of their drama, you're planting seeds for a life they can't touch. You're not just surviving their betrayal, you're thriving beyond it. They're unraveling. That's just life doing what it does best, showing people who they really are. You might not see it happen on social media or hear it in a headline, but you'll feel it in the way their world gets smaller while yours expands. That's the real justice, not revenge, but the peace of knowing you're living true to yourself. So, how do you move forward? Let go of the need to see them fall. That's not your job. Your job is to rise. Start small. Focus on one thing today that brings you closer to your best self. Maybe it's a new habit, like meditating for 5 minutes. Maybe it's reaching out to a friend who lifts you up. Or maybe it's just reminding yourself, their actions don't define me, my choices do. The Stoics would tell you to focus on what you can control, your mindset, your boundaries, your growth. Let their consequences be their story, not yours. Here's my challenge to you today. If you've been betrayed, don't waste energy chasing their downfall. Trust life to handle it. Instead, ask yourself, what's one step I can take to build my peace? Maybe it's letting go of a grudge. Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off. Or maybe it's just believing you're enough. Because you are. Their betrayal was their loss, not your defeat. Your peace is your victory. In the Stoic view, life's consequences are the ultimate teacher. You don't need to punish those who hurt you. Their own actions will. So keep growing, keep shining, and let life do the rest. If this resonated, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stoic insights to guide you through life's challenges. In the comments, tell me, what's one way you've seen life balance the scales after a betrayal? Your story might be the spark someone needs today. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep building. Hey there, friend. Have you ever felt the weight of betrayal pulling you down, tempting you to lash out or prove someone wrong? It's human to want to fight back, to show the person who hurt you that you're not broken. But what if the most powerful response isn't a comeback or revenge, but something quieter, stronger, your peace? Today, we're diving into the art of rising above betrayal, where your strength lies not in retaliation, but in restraint and self-mastery. With stoic wisdom and a sprinkle of emotional intelligence, we'll explore how to let your peace be the loudest justice, leaving those who hurt you in the dust of their own choices. So, grab a comfy seat, maybe a coffee, and let's get into it. This is about becoming unshakable, untouchable, and unstoppable. Let's go. When someone betrays you, whether it's a partner who cheated, a friend who turned their back, or a coworker who stabbed you in the back, it's natural to want to hit back. You imagine the perfect clapback, the moment they realize they messed up. You want them to feel your pain. But here's the truth. Getting even comes at a cost, and that cost is your peace. Every angry text you send, every argument you chase, pulls you back into their chaos. It's like stepping into quicksand. You think you're fighting, but you're sinking. The real power. It's in walking away, not with bitterness, but with clarity. It's in choosing silence over shouting, self-mastery over revenge. Because when you rise above, your peace becomes the loudest justice they'll ever hear. Let's lean into stoic wisdom here, because it's like a lifeline in these moments. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In other words, you can't control what they did or what they say about you now, but you can control how you respond or don't respond. Stoic indifference isn't about being cold or apathetic. It's about being so grounded in your own strength that their actions can't shake you. It's about saying, "I'm not going to let your betrayal rent space in my head anymore." That kind of indifference, it's not just powerful, it's devastating to those who thrive on your reactions. Let me share a story to bring this home. Picture Sarah, a woman who poured her heart into a relationship for years. She was loyal, supportive, always there. But her partner cheated, lied, and left her without a second thought. At first, Sarah was crushed. She wanted to call him out, to tell everyone what he did, to make him feel the hurt he caused. But instead, she did something radical. She went silent. She didn't post about it, didn't send angry texts, didn't beg for closure. She packed up her pain and started rebuilding. She got back into painting, something she'd loved but set aside for him. She started therapy, worked out, and surrounded herself with people who lifted her up. A year later, Sarah was thriving. New job, new confidence, new peace. Her ex, struggling, jumping from one failed relationship to another, posting about fake people online. Sarah's peace wasn't just her victory, it was a mirror showing him everything he lost. That's the power of rising above. Here's the thing, when you choose restraint over retaliation, you're not just protecting your peace, you're rewriting the story. Betrayers expect you to spiral, to chase them, to prove you're not broken. But when you rise instead, when you focus on your growth, your happiness, your purpose, it's like pulling the rug out from under them. They lose their grip on you. Your indifference, your calm, quiet strength hurts them more than any angry outburst ever could. Why? Because it shows them you don't need their validation, their apology, or their presence to thrive. You've become untouchable not because you shut them out, but because you've built a life so full they can't fit in it anymore. Let's get real for a second. Have you ever wanted to get even with someone who betrayed you? Maybe you typed out a long message, ready to send it, or imagined confronting them face to face. What stopped you? Or if you did react, how did it feel afterward? Did it bring you peace or just more chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because trust me, we've all been there. The moment you choose to let go instead of lashing out is the moment you take back your power. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Your peace is too expensive to trade for a fleeting moment of winning. Here's my take, and maybe it's a perspective you haven't thought about before. Rising above betrayal isn't about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about deciding the hurt won't define you. It's like building a house after a storm. The betrayal was the wind that knocked down your walls, but you get to choose what to rebuild and how strong to make it. Every time you choose peace over drama, you're laying a new brick. Every time you focus on your goals instead of their games, you're raising the roof. And the best part, the life you build becomes a mirror, reflecting back to them everything they lost, not because you showed off, but because you showed up for yourself. Think about it like this: betrayers thrive on your reaction. They want your anger, your tears, your attention. But when you give them nothing, when you keep building your life with quiet confidence, you become the justice they never saw coming. It's not about gloating or rubbing it in their face. It's about living so well that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. You don't need to prove they were wrong, you prove it by proving you were always strong. So how do you rise above? Start small. Focus on one thing you can control today: your mindset, your actions, your boundaries. Maybe it's saying no to a toxic conversation. Maybe it's pouring energy into a passion you've neglected. Or maybe it's just reminding yourself, I don't need their approval to be whole. The Stoics would tell you to focus on what's in your power, your thoughts, your choices, your growth. Let their betrayal be a reminder to surround yourself with people who celebrate your light, not dim it. And when those old urges to fight back creep in, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If it's not, let it go. Your peace is your power, and no one can take that away. Here's my challenge to you today. If you've been betrayed, don't let their actions pull you down. Rise above. Ask yourself, what's one step I can take today to build my peace? Maybe it's letting go of a grudge. Maybe it's starting something new that lights you up. Or maybe it's just believing you're enough because you are. Their betrayal was their choice, but your peace is yours. Let it be the loudest justice they'll ever hear. In the Stoic view, your strength lies in controlling your mind, not chasing external winds. So keep building, keep growing, and let your life speak louder than their betrayal ever could. If this hit home, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to guide you through life's challenges. In the comments, tell me, what's one way you've risen above betrayal? Your story might be the spark someone needs today. Until next time, stay calm, stay strong, and keep rising. Hey there, friend. Have you ever felt like a betrayal took something from you, not just trust, but a piece of your dignity? That moment when someone's actions made you question your worth, maybe even made you feel ashamed for caring too much. It hurts, doesn't it? But here's the beautiful truth. No one can steal your dignity unless you let them. Today, we're diving into how to rebuild your unshakable self after betrayal, reclaiming your dignity piece by piece through silence, boundaries, and self-respect. With a touch of Stoic wisdom and emotional intelligence, we'll explore how to become someone so grounded in self-trust that you're unforgettable, not for your pain, but for your strength. So grab a cozy seat, maybe a journal, and let's get started. This is about becoming the person no betrayal can break. Let's go. Betrayal can leave you feeling exposed, like your heart's been laid bare and trampled on. Maybe you begged for answers, explained yourself too much, or took on blame that wasn't yours. In those moments, it's easy to feel like you've lost your dignity, like you've given away a piece of yourself to someone who didn't deserve it. But here's the thing, that shame, it's temporary. It doesn't define you. What defines you is what you do next. Do you stay in that place of hurt, chasing closure from someone who broke your trust? Or do you rise piece by piece, rebuilding your dignity through choices that honor you? The answer lies in one powerful truth. Your dignity isn't something they can take, it's something you reclaim. The Stoics knew this well. They believed that true strength comes from self-control, from choosing your response even when the world feels chaotic. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When betrayal hits, it's tempting to fight back, to prove you're not weak, to clear your name. But every time you engage with their drama, you're giving them power over your peace. The real victory, it's in walking away, not out of defeat, but out of self-respect. It's in choosing silence over shouting, boundaries over battles, and your own growth over their chaos. Let me share a story to make this real. Meet Elijah, a guy who worked in a toxic workplace. His team was a minefield of gossip, backstabbing, and subtle put-downs. Elijah gave his all, staying late, helping coworkers, trying to be a team player, but his efforts were met with sabotage. A manager who took credit for his ideas, colleagues who excluded him from key decisions. It got to him. He felt humiliated, like his hard work meant nothing. He could have fought back, called out the toxicity, or quit in a blaze of glory. But instead, Elijah did something powerful. He left quietly. He wrote a simple resignation letter, walked out, and didn't look back. He didn't need to prove a point, he needed to protect his peace. Months later, Elijah landed a new job where his talents were valued. Meanwhile, his old workplace. It fell apart, clients left, turnover spiked, and the toxicity imploded. Elijah's dignified exit wasn't just a moment, it was a statement. His silence and strength spoke louder than any confrontation ever could. Here's the magic of reclaiming your dignity. It's not about being loud or proving them wrong. It's about being selective with your energy. After betrayal, you learn to stop wasting your breath on people who don't deserve it. You stop reacting to every jab or provocation. You become less reactive, more intentional, living from a place of deep self-trust. That's what makes you unforgettable. Not how much you fought, but how gracefully you rose. When you choose peace over drama, you're not just rebuilding your dignity. You're building an unshakable self, someone who knows their worth and doesn't need anyone else to validate it. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever felt like a betrayal stole a piece of your dignity? Maybe you chased someone for answers or tried too hard to fix what they broke. What did you learn from that? Or maybe you've had a moment where you chose silence, set a boundary, and felt your strength return. Drop your story in the comments because trust me, you're not alone. We've all had those moments where we gave too much to the wrong people. But the beauty is, you can always choose to take your power back, one boundary at a time. Here's my take, and maybe it's a perspective you haven't considered. Dignity isn't about never falling, it's about how you get up. Betrayal might knock you down, make you feel small, but it's also a chance to rebuild stronger. Every time you say no to a toxic conversation, every time you ignore a provocation, every time you choose yourself over their drama, you're picking up a piece of your dignity. It's like crafting a mosaic from broken tiles. Each choice makes you whole again, but this time, you're stronger, wiser, more selective with who gets access to your light. The betrayers. They're left watching from the sidelines, realizing they lost someone who was irreplaceable, not because you told them, but because your life shows it. Think about it like this. Dignity is the currency of self-respect. It's what lets you walk away without burning bridges, stay silent when proving a point would cost your peace, and live in a way that honors who you are. The Stoics called this self-mastery, calmness as power, self-control as strength. When you live from that place, you become someone others can't forget, not because you shouted your worth, but because you lived it. Your unshakable self becomes a mirror, reflecting back to them everything they could have had if they'd treated you right. So, how do you start rebuilding? It's simple but not easy. Focus on one choice that honors you today. Maybe it's ignoring that text from someone who doesn't deserve your energy. Maybe it's setting a boundary with a friend who keeps crossing the line. Or maybe it's just reminding yourself, I'm enough, and I don't need their approval. The Stoics would tell you to focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, your boundaries. Let their betrayal be a reminder to surround yourself with people who see your worth, not exploit it. And when those old feelings of shame creep in, tell yourself, that was a moment, not my story. I'm building something stronger now. Here's my challenge to you today. If betrayal made you feel like you lost your dignity, start reclaiming it. Ask yourself, what's one way I can honor myself today? Maybe it's walking away from a toxic situation. Maybe it's pouring energy into something that lights you up. Or maybe it's just believing you're worth more than their actions. Because you are. Your dignity is yours to rebuild, and every choice you make for yourself is a step toward an unshakable self. In the Stoic view, self-control is strength, and dignity is power. So keep choosing you, keep setting boundaries, and keep rising. If this resonated, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to guide you through life's challenges. In the comments, tell me, what's one way you've reclaimed your dignity after a betrayal? Your story might be the spark someone needs today. Until next time, stay grounded, stay true, and keep building. Hey there, friend. Ever had someone who hurt you come crawling back? Maybe months or years after their betrayal, they send a text, call out of the blue, or slide into your DMs acting like nothing happened. It's confusing, isn't it? Part of you wonders if they are sorry, while another part smells a trap. Today, we're diving into what happens when betrayers return, not because they've changed, but because they miss the power they once had over you. With Stoic wisdom and a touch of emotional intelligence, we'll explore how to stay unshakable, protect your peace, and become untouchable through silence and boundaries. This isn't about shutting them out with anger, it's about guarding your heart with strength. So grab a cozy spot, maybe a warm drink, and let's unpack this. Let's talk about keeping your peace when the past knocks. Here we go. When someone who betrayed you comes back, it can feel like a plot twist you didn't see coming. Maybe it's an ex who cheated, a friend who ghosted you, or a colleague who sabotaged you. They show up with a vague apology, a nostalgic remember when, or even an accusation to pull you back into their orbit. But here's the truth. They're not returning for love, remorse, or closure. They're returning for control. People who betray, especially those with narcissistic tendencies, miss the validation you gave them. You were their mirror, reflecting their worth, their charm, their ego. When you walked away, you took that mirror with you, and now they're scrambling to get it back. But you've grown, you've set boundaries, and your silence, it's a force they didn't expect. The Stoics have a gem for this moment. Marcus Aurelius said, "The past cannot harm you without your permission." That's powerful. Their betrayal hurt you once, but their return only has power if you let it. Your peace is your gatekeeper, and you get to decide who gets access. When they come back, trying to stir up old feelings or pull you into their drama, your silence and boundaries become your shield. You're not just ignoring them, you're protecting the life you've built without them. And trust me, that makes them panic. They're used to controlling the narrative, but your strength rewrites the story. Let me share a story to make this real. Meet Sarah, a woman who survived a toxic relationship. Her ex was manipulative, always twisting her words, making her doubt herself. When she finally left, it wasn't loud or dramatic. She just walked away, went silent, and started rebuilding her life. She focused on her career, reconnected with friends, and found joy in small things like painting and morning runs. A year later, her ex texted her, all charm and nostalgia. "I miss you. Can we talk?" Sarah saw it for what it was, not love, but a grab for control. He missed the power he had when she was in his life. Instead of responding, she deleted the message, set her phone down, and kept living. Her silence wasn't just a boundary, it was a permanent line in the sand. She'd become untouchable, and that was her victory. That's what happens when betrayers return. They expect you to jump back in, to argue, to explain, to give them the emotional hit they're craving. But when you don't, when you stay silent and keep your boundaries firm, you flip the script. They're left grasping at air, realizing they no longer have a hold on you. Your peace, your growth, your self-trust, they're like a fortress they can't breach. And that's when they start to unravel, not because you fought back, but because you moved on. Let's lean into Stoic wisdom here, because it's like a compass for these moments. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our boundaries, and let go of what we can't, like other people's motives or regrets. When a betrayer returns, it's tempting to get sucked back in, to wonder if they've changed or if you owe them a chance to explain. But here's the Stoic truth. You don't owe them anything. Your peace is yours, and you get to protect it. Epictetus would say, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When they come back, your reaction, or lack of one, is your power. Silence isn't just not responding, it's choosing yourself over their chaos. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever had someone who hurt you try to come back? Maybe they sent a message out of nowhere, acting like the past didn't happen. How did you handle it? Did you feel the pull to respond, or did you choose silence? What did that choice teach you? Drop your story in the comments, because trust me, we've all faced that moment when the past knocks, and it's not always easy to keep the door closed. But every time you choose your peace over their drama, you're building a stronger, more unshakable self. Here's my take, and maybe it's a new angle for you. When betrayers return, it's not about them. It's about the strength you've built since they left. Their betrayal was a storm, but you didn't just survive it. You rebuilt a better house, one with stronger walls and a clearer view. Their return is a test, not of your kindness, but of your boundaries. It's a chance to prove to yourself that you've grown beyond their reach. Silence and boundaries aren't just tools. They are declarations of your worth. You're saying, I'm not the person you hurt anymore. I'm someone new, someone stronger, someone who doesn't need your validation. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Think about it like this. Every time a betrayer tries to come back, they're handing you a choice. You can open the door, let them in, and risk losing the peace you've worked so hard for. Or you can keep that door closed, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Your silence isn't cold, it's clear. It's you saying, my energy is too valuable for your games. And when you live from that place of self-trust, you become someone they can't forget, not because you fought them, but because you rose above them. So how do you stay unshakable when they come back? Start by remembering your worth. You don't need their apology to heal or their presence to feel whole. Set a boundary. Maybe it's ignoring that text, blocking their number, or simply refusing to engage in their drama. Focus on what you can control: your peace, your growth, your choices. The Stoics would tell you to guard your mind like a gatekeeper, letting in only what serves you. And when those old feelings of doubt or anger creep in, remind yourself, the past only has power if I give it permission. I choose my peace. Here's my challenge to you today. If a betrayer tries to come back, don't let them pull you back into their storm. Protect your peace. Ask yourself, what's one way I can honor my boundaries today? Maybe it's saying no to a conversation that doesn't serve you. Maybe it's pouring energy into something that lights you up. Or maybe it's just believing you're enough, because you are. Their return isn't a chance to fix the past. It's a chance to show how far you've come. In the Stoic view, your peace is your power, and your boundaries are your strength. So keep building, keep growing, and let your silence speak louder than their words ever could. Yep. If this resonated, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to guide you through life's challenges. In the comments, tell me, what's one way you've stayed strong when a betrayer came back? Your story might be the spark someone needs today. Until next time, stay grounded, stay untouchable, and keep rising. Hey there, friend. We've been on quite a journey together, talking about betrayal, how it stings, how it challenges us, and how it can spark something incredible within. Now, let's bring it home. If you've ever been hurt by someone you trusted, you might have thought revenge or closure was the answer. But here's the real truth. Your peace is non-negotiable, and your growth is the ultimate justice. Today, we're wrapping up with a powerful conclusion about rising above betrayal, rooted in Stoic wisdom and emotional strength. This is about letting your transformation, your unshakable, whole self, be the victory that speaks louder than any comeback. So grab a cozy spot, maybe a notebook to jot down some thoughts, and let's dive in. This is about becoming untouchable and unstoppable. Let's do this. Betrayal can feel like a theft of your trust, your time, even your sense of self. When someone you cared about turns their back, it's tempting to chase after them, to demand answers, or to make them see what they lost. But here's the Stoic secret. You don't need their regret to heal, and you don't need revenge to win. Your greatest power lies in your peace, your growth, and your ability to rise above their chaos. When you focus on what you can control, your discipline, your boundaries, your self-worth. You're not just surviving betrayal, you're rewriting the story. And trust me, that story ends with you thriving, while those who hurt you are left grappling with the weight of what they squandered. Let's talk about what happens when you choose growth over grudges. The person who betrayed you, they didn't just lose you, they lost access to your light, your loyalty, your heart. And when you keep moving forward, building a life rooted in purpose and peace, they start to feel that absence. It's not about rubbing it in their face or proving a point. It's about living so well that your success becomes a mirror, reflecting back everything they let slip away. Your absence, your strength, your joy, that's the justice they can't ignore. And the best part, you don't have to lift a finger to make it happen. Your transformation is the loudest statement you'll ever need. Let's lean into Stoic wisdom here, because it's like a compass for navigating life's toughest moments. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, taught us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. You can't control the fact that they betrayed you. You can't control whether they'll ever apologize or see the error of their ways. But you can control your response, how you carry yourself, how you protect your peace, how you build a life that reflects your worth. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's Stoic freedom, rising above the chaos, staying grounded in your discipline and letting your elevation do the talking. Let me share a story to bring this to life. Meet Tara, a woman who faced a gut-wrenching betrayal from a close friend. They'd been like sisters, sharing everything from dreams to secrets. But when Tara started chasing her goals, landing a promotion, setting boundaries, her friend turned cold, spreading rumors and cutting her off. Tara was devastated, but instead of fighting back, she chose herself. She poured her energy into her career, started volunteering, and built a circle of people who celebrated her growth. A year later, her friend reached out, acting like nothing happened, but Tara didn't take the bait. She stayed kind but firm, keeping her boundaries tight. Today, Tara's life is full, new opportunities, genuine friendships, and a quiet confidence that radiates. Her friend, still stuck in the same drama, reaching out for validation Tara no longer gives. Tara's growth wasn't just her victory, it was a living testament to what her friend lost. Here's my take, and maybe it's a perspective you haven't considered. Betrayal feels like the end, but it's actually a beginning. It's the universe clearing out what no longer serves you, making space for the life you're meant to live. When you stop chasing closure or revenge, you free yourself to focus on what matters. You. Your peace becomes your shield, your growth becomes your sword, and your self-worth becomes your crown. The betrayers, they're left watching from the sidelines, realizing they underestimated someone who was always stronger than they knew. Your transformation isn't just about healing. It's about becoming someone they can't touch, someone whose light shines too brightly to be dimmed. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever turned pain into power after a betrayal? Maybe you set a boundary that changed everything, or you poured your energy into something that made you feel whole again. What did that moment teach you? Or maybe you're still in the thick of it, wondering how to let go of the hurt. Drop your story in the comments, because trust me, you're not alone. Every step you take toward your own growth is a step toward a victory that no one can take away. And you're already on that path just by being here ready to rise. So how do you make your peace non-negotiable? Start small, but start today. Focus on one thing you can control. Maybe it's saying no to a toxic situation, picking up a passion you've neglected, or simply reminding yourself, "I'm enough." Set boundaries that protect your energy, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. The Stoics would tell you to guard your mind like a fortress, letting in only what aligns with your values. When those old urges to seek revenge or closure creep in, ask yourself, will this bring me peace or will it pull me back into their chaos? If it's not worth your energy, let it go. Your growth is your justice and your life is your proof. Here's my challenge to you today. If you've been betrayed, make your peace your priority. Ask yourself, what's one step I can take to honor my growth? Maybe it's letting go of a grudge that's weighing you down. Maybe it's starting something new that lights you up. Or maybe it's just believing you don't need their validation to shine, because you don't. Your transformation into an untouchable whole self is the ultimate victory. Let it be the justice that speaks louder than any revenge ever could. In the Stoic view, your freedom comes from focusing on what you control, your discipline, your boundaries, your self-worth. So keep building, keep rising, and let your life be the story that inspires others. If this resonated, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to guide you through life's challenges. In the comments, tell me, what's one way you've turned pain into power? Your story might be the spark someone needs today. Until next time, stay grounded, stay unstoppable, and keep shining.